host. My name is Andrea. Welcome back to my channel. With this video, I want to introduce you to a new series all about manifestation and the law of attraction. I already have a few videos in mind, manifestation techniques that I want to show you. We're also going to be talking about how to manifest properly and why it might have not been working for you so far. So I am really excited for this series, and I thought that the best way to introduce you to this topic is by talking a little bit about happiness. What is happiness? Because I think that we have a very distorted perception of what happiness really is here on earth. And so how can we get to a point if we don't really know where we're going? Or what does it even mean for you? As I said, we have a very distorted perception of what happiness and fulfillment is. And we are so used to measuring our happiness by the material things in our life or by our outer world in general. We are so attached to the concept of when X, Y, Z will happen, then I will be happy, that we don't even realize that we are creating an endless race in our life, an endless cycle that keeps repeating itself. And we are trying to achieve a goal that is actually unknown to us. You have probably already heard these things before, and you probably think that they don't work. How can I not measure my happiness by material things when they ensure my physical existence? Well, let me tell you about it. All beliefs, wants, and expectations have their root in our ego, our human self, which is not real. It's just a temporary existence. It's just a temporary identity. And so does all the worry and attachments that we have around those beliefs. They do also come from the ego, our human self. And if you keep focusing on these illusory limitations, you will just keep manifesting more of those limitations. Your soul, your true self, however you want to name it, knows very clearly its purpose for being here. And it also knows the most appropriate way to get there. The only reason why this is not manifesting into your physical life is because your human self keeps interfering and judging the experience instead of trusting the process. In other words, you have chosen this specific life experience at this specific point in time at a soul level for a specific purpose. But what you do with that experience, how you grow from it, or how you let it drag you down is just up to you in this present moment. Which takes me to my next point. So if all this doesn't matter, what actually does? We have to stop for a moment and remember what experience wanted our soul to have here on earth. Pay attention to the things that make your soul vibrate. You have come here on earth at this specific point in time for two reasons: to assist and be of service, and to experience and grow. You see, depending on where you find yourself in the world right now, you might have received a slightly different social conditioning than somebody else on the other side of the world. Which means that you were trained into a specific system of values and beliefs on what happiness is supposed to look like. But you have to become aware that those are not truly your thoughts. And the reason you are struggling to find happiness is because you were never given the chance to experience what that means for yourself. The reason you are struggling is because you are not following what your soul dictates, because you were simply conditioned to quiet that voice down, and the chaos in your outer world is just a reflection of the chaos inside. You see, many people believe that financial stability is the key to their happiness, or that somebody is gonna come into their lives and bring them the happiness that they want. But this is not true. Happiness is not measured by the comfortability of your life, but by your level of appreciation towards it. It is measured by your gratitude. So, what are you grateful for? We take so many things for granted, and we have been so deeply brainwashed by society's standards that we have completely forgotten what happiness truly is. And let me reveal a secret to you. Happiness is a state of mind whose root you will find deep into your soul. So, how you actually manifest that happiness into your outer world, into your physical existence? Well, first, if you are trying to manifest, but you're starting from the point of lack and limitation, you're placing your power in an external source, object, or situation, thinking that when you will get that one thing, you will be happy, when in fact, wanting something is just gonna keep pushing you further and further away from your goal. The universe will continue to remove you from that external source until you finally recognize the wholeness within you. When you're trying to manifest something, what you're truly desiring is not the object or the thing itself, but it is the emotion that you think it will bring into your life. And so, because it's something tied to an external source, even if you get it, it will eventually dissipate, and you will find yourself at the starting point all over again, longing for happiness and fulfillment, which will then make your human self, your ego, place its attention onto the next thing it thinks it needs to fill that hole inside of you. So you have to become aware of the race that you're creating into your life, and start by feeling grateful for who and where you are right now. You will never be able to manifest a happy life by focusing on the negative things, but you will just keep creating more and more of those negative things. Happiness is truly a state of mind that is fueled by being in alignment with Source, with your true self, with your soul. And that requires personal work. And I can understand that it's not something easy to do, because you have to dig deep inside yourself. And that is not always pretty, but it's the only way. The only way out is in. So I have broken this down into 4 different steps. How to manifest happiness. The first step is become aware of the story you tell yourself and your social conditioning. You have already heard me saying that you cannot overcome an issue from the same vibrational level from which it was created. What you have to do is raise your consciousness above it. So this is going to seem pretty impossible to do if you try to apply it from the perspective of your ego, of your human identity, because it is limited by the illusion of the self. Think about it this way. Your social conditioning and subconscious programming has led you to the point from which you find yourself right now. By continuing to think and take action based on the same beliefs as you had up until this point, you're just going to get more of what you have already gotten, because this has become your natural state. This has become your vibration. At this point, you're not even aware that you're manifesting unhappiness into your life. The only way to make actual and lasting changes into your life is by becoming aware of your internal state. What are your beliefs? What are your thought patterns? Why do you think like that? What made you have the beliefs that you have? What are your automatic reactions? And so on. Start by questioning everything that makes you be who you are today. And start by becoming aware of the way in which society has conditioned you. Start by becoming aware of your thought patterns on a daily basis. If your internal talk goes along the lines of, oh man, I really wish this and that would happen. Or if you find yourself sighing a lot and complaining about things in your life, it's a clear sign that you're operating from a low vibration, which means you're out of alignment, which means what you're going to manifest is more of the feeling that you have at that moment. The truth is that we are always manifesting, all the time, no exceptions. We are constantly engaged in a conversation with the universe, and your vibration dictates your part of the conversation. Again, if your manifestation is driven by a desire, that means it comes from the feeling of lack. I desire this because I am not happy with who I am right now, or with where I am right now. So what I'm manifesting is not the thing that I desire, because I don't vibrate at that frequency. I vibrate at the frequency of I am not happy. Then guess what? This is what you're resonating with. This is what you're manifesting into your life. The second step is heal and let go. Once you're starting to become aware of the story you tell yourself and your subconscious programming, your social conditioning, it is time to heal what comes up and let it go. I have said at the beginning of this video that the only way to overcome an issue is by raising your consciousness above it. You cannot overcome something from the same level of consciousness from which you are already experiencing it. Realize that your story does not define yourself, nor does it define the rest of your life. You are not your human identity, and you are not the experiences in your life. And do not be hard on yourself. Sometimes it's tough to realize that we have created all the experiences we had in our lives because of the way we were thinking, because of our vibration and our internal state. But at the end of the day, you were not being aware of the real impact that your thoughts really have on your life. So you have to heal that part of yourself. You have to let go of your ego-driven desires and attachments. And I have noticed that it's becoming a common theme that people have a tendency to get emotionally attached to their suffering and keep auto-sabotaging themselves back into old behaviors because they don't know what it would be like without them. They have created a whole identity based on their experience, letting it define them. And so the question comes, if I am not my ego, if I am not my experience, and my experience is healed and gone, who am I from now on? And they truly have no idea because they have never actually taken the chance to discover who they truly are. The only thing many people know is their ego and their physical attachment. And so if all that goes away, they wouldn't know who they are or what to do anymore. And so people have a tendency to cling to that and subconsciously keep creating more of it because it keeps their comfort zone alive. They subconsciously sabotage any chance they might have towards true happiness. So you have to set the conscious intention of wanting to rediscover yourself and rebuild yourself based on your true identity. You have to let go of anything that you think creates your reality that is based on your outer world. And your physical life will literally start changing as you're learning who you are and as you're putting your thoughts in order, your life is gonna start reflecting back at you that high vibration that you have in your life. How do you do that? This takes me to the third step, which is gratitude. And I want to start with the question, why do you think society has manipulated us, has conditioned us into fitting into these little boxes, into believing that I need this, and that in order to be happy, into thinking that all those things come from our outer world instead of coming from within? Why do you think that happens? That is because by making yourself identifying with something that it's not true, by making yourself identify with something that doesn't resonate with you, is gonna block you from realizing who you truly are. Is gonna block you from realizing that all the abundance and happiness and fulfillment in your life are not a goal. They are your natural state. They should come easy to you because this is who you are. You are love. Again, the highest frequency is the frequency of love. And having gratitude and joy are natural to you. And once you shed the light into all the things that you are not, you're gonna liberate yourself from all the social conditioning that you have received all these years. By shedding light on all those things and all the social conditioning that we have already talked about, you're gonna allow yourself to see the truth. Your frequency is gonna completely change and is gonna shift and align you with your true self, and you're gonna be able to feel gratitude. You're not gonna need to be in search for those things to be grateful for, but they're gonna come to you easily. But liberation is key to all of this. You're here at this point in time because your soul wanted to be human, because your soul wanted to have this specific experience that you're having right now, because it knew it would help it grow. You need to stop getting stuck into the illusory limitations of their reality. You need to stop getting attached to all these limitations. The reason they didn't want you to believe all these things is because your beliefs are gonna keep you trapped away from happiness. So start by becoming aware of those limitations, start by healing those limitations, and that is gonna allow you, is gonna be like a ticket that gives you permission from yourself to receive and experience happiness. And it's gonna come from within. It's gonna come from the realization that you are so powerful that you can manifest anything, that you are everything. So start by the little things. It doesn't matter how difficult and hard your life experience is right now. You can overcome that and you can transmute that limitation into power. So start by being grateful of the little things. The simple fact that you're alive right now and that you're breathing is a gift that your soul wanted you to experience. And I promise you that your soul did not want you to have this experience because of its attachment to the material things. The only reason for your reality to be the way it is right now, it's because it's a catalyst for growth and because it can fuel your gratitude. Stop placing your power in external sources. Stop placing your happiness in objects, in situations, or things that are outside of you. The only moment when you're gonna be able to find true happiness is when that happiness is gonna come from within. Is when you're gonna start to realize the power that you have. and the influence that your inner state has on your environment. If you're thinking from the perspective of the ego, you're not going to be able to find happiness, because the ego is focused on limitation, because it vibrates at a different frequency that your ego does. So start by doing the inner work first, and that is going to be reflected in your outer world. And the last and fourth step that I have for you is surrender to the process. Life is just an experience. Surrender to the experience and let go of control. Go in the same direction as nature. Don't try to battle against it. It's gonna create so much resistance. It's gonna create so much negative energy because you're trying to push something that is out of your control. You cannot change the things that happen outside of you, but you can change your internal state. You can surrender, you can allow the experience to happen, and you can guide yourself along the way. Just as you're on a river in a boat, you can guide the boat around, but you cannot go completely in the other direction than the river. It just goes against the laws of nature. But it's when you stop trying to control it. It's when you stop desiring. It's when you stop wanting to change your experience that you truly become happy. Resisting your experience, it's only gonna make you sink. If you keep clinging to illusory limitations and getting yourself attached to things that will only bring you a false sense of happiness, a temporary happiness, that is not true happiness. I was saying at the beginning of this video that all desires, all beliefs, and all worries about those beliefs come from the ego. When you let all these things go and you surrender to the process, you let go of control and simply navigate through your physical experience. You guide yourself along that, and that guidance is fueled by your connection to Source. You're gonna open yourself up to receiving all this happiness by not desiring. And this doesn't mean that you have to get stuck on a certain level, on a certain point. Again, you are here to grow out of your experience. You're here to evolve. But this can only happen in your inner state. And this is gonna be then reflected into your outer experience. I'm gonna stop here for now. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, you can help me by hitting like and subscribe to my channel. See you on the next time. Light and love.